Hello, Serious Survivor here, and today we're going to look at 20 skills necessary for group survival during the rebuilding phase after an SHTF or grid down situation. Now, I'm not looking at the basic survival skills here. We're talking past the basics. We're assuming that anyone who has made it this far into the apocalypse will have the basic survival skills necessary. So we're going to look at 20 different skills that will help in rebuilding and help making your group safer and make you more desirable to a group. These skills are not in any particular order, but each one of them holds its own benefits and its own values, and all of these will contribute to group survival, to making a group stronger, making a group more efficient, and making a group safer. So let's get started. Number one, engineering. Having the ability, the background, the training to design and to come up with concepts for putting systems into place is going to be valuable in the rebuilding phase. During the initial survival phase, this skill is not going to come in that handy. But having this skill or people with these skills, engineering capabilities, then that will make your group that much more efficient in the rebuilding phase when you're possibly working on repairing damaged circuits, damaged equipment, and damaged buildings. Number two, electrician. Electricians or electronic technicians will be a very valuable skill during this phase. It doesn't do us much good to talk about solar power, to talk about other types of power, if we're not capable of wiring these systems up electrically, and if we're not capable of troubleshooting electronics as an electronic technician could do. So this skill will come in valuable in the rebuilding phase. The next is mechanical. In this category also are hydraulics and pneumatics, and these skills pretty much speak for their own. But when forming a group and when looking to join a group, these can be some very invaluable skills, especially in an SHTF scenario when there are no more car parts and there are no parts to fix machines. Having someone with the capability to find workarounds or to get things running is going to be extremely beneficial. Carpentry. Having carpenter skills, of course, is going to benefit everyone, and this will be from building homes, repairing homes, all the way to building defense perimeters around your locations. Welding skills. Having the ability to weld will come in more than handy in multiple scenarios, and this is going to be looked at everything from repair to rebuilding to putting up defenses and getting things back into production once we start rebuilding society to a degree. Teaching skills. So for all the skills we have, teaching is going to be very important, and it's going to be very important for the future, because unless only adults survive the initial stages of SHTF, then there's going to be a need to give the children a good education. And children need a basic education, learning how to read, write, do math, science, things like that. And having people that can teach the kids in an efficient or effective manner is going to make your group that much stronger in the long run. Medical skills. Whether nurse, doctor, physician's assistant, it doesn't matter. Having these types of skills will make you invaluable to your group, and these are also part of the skill sets that I would consider absolutely necessary for any group to sustain themselves long term. Number 8, dental. Having the ability to repair people's teeth, having the ability to help people keep their teeth in better condition, and having the ability to alleviate some of the problems that we're going to face in a grid down or SHTF scenario without having the proper tools and supplies to keep our teeth in the best of conditions. Having someone who can help us with this, a dental assistant, a dentist themselves, it would be a very, very valuable tool. Farming and animal husbandry. These are self-explanatory. We're going to have to grow food, and we're going to have to raise livestock. We're going to have to raise other types of animals, so that we have a proper diet. Having the ability to do this efficiently and effectively, and having this ability already in place, will be a great benefit to any group. Number 10, IT, communication. It may not sound like this is a huge category, but someone who's really familiar with a communication network, whether that be CB networks, ham networks, or even radio stations, because at some point we're going to have power again. With the availability of solar panels and other types of power, we're going to be able to supply power to our community at some point in time. And once this happens, having someone with the ability to set up a communication network, then that will give us the ability to communicate with other groups, and that will help with security, and it will also help with barter and trade. Plumbing. Plumbing is one of those things that everybody thinks they can do until they do it. And having the necessary skills to repair, to replace, or to even implement a plumbing system is going to be very beneficial to you or to whoever has these skills, to the group that they decide to team with. Number 12, heavy equipment. The ability to operate heavy equipment is a definite benefit, and this includes 18-wheelers and large vehicles such as that. Having the ability to operate multiple types of these will make you valuable in multiple facets, and that being everywhere from clearing off the land so that you can begin construction to setting up defenses and perimeters around your location. Being able to operate these will make the jobs much easier, especially considering that heavy equipment is not going to be on people's stealing list when the grid goes down. It's not, people aren't going to steal dump trucks and heavy equipment. They're going to steal vehicles and bicycles and motorcycles. So these will still be in place, and having the ability to use these will make your group that much stronger and more efficient. Cooking. Now, cooking is something that just sort of comes second nature to some people. I know I'm not a great cook myself. My kids will attest to that. But having the ability to cook a healthy, nutritious, well-cooked, dinner is a really big benefit. This in itself would just improve morale a little bit if you have at least, a good meal to eat every day, as opposed to just eating whatever we warm up over the campfire. Number 14, gunsmith, and this also includes reloading of ammunition. This almost speaks for itself. Someone who has the ability to help maintain firearms as a whole, to repair firearms, and to possibly even manufacture firearms is a definite benefit. It's going to be a very valuable commodity. Also, reloading or loading of ammunition. Having the skills to do this, it's not a very complicated process, but it is one of those processes that do take practice to get it just right. Having this skill will make someone extremely valuable. Number 15, military training. There will be the need for defense, and not just for defense, but organization. When people think about military training, we tend to think about combat training, but one of the things that people don't think about who weren't in the military is the organization that you learn. Organizing things and paying attention to the very smallest of details to ensure that everything goes the way that it should go. So having military training in any aspect is going to be a benefit to any community that has these individuals. Number 16, manufacturing alcohol. Now, of course, if you can manufacture alcohol, then you'll be very popular among your group, most likely. And this is one of those things that will also benefit you on the barter side. If you can produce alcohol, you have an excellent barter commodity at that point. Number 17, blacksmith. Having blacksmith skills is going to be extremely valuable, especially in the beginning of the rebuilding phase, because at this point electricity may be restored to some parts of your community, but not to everywhere. So having the ability to do this kind of work hands-on is going to increase the efficiency of your group and will also help you increase the overall quality of life for your group. Number 18, and this may seem sort of similar to the last one, but metal worker. And I'm referring to those who are used to using metal shop tools, basically. Those that are used to working with sheet metal, those that are used to working with metal pipes, bending them, doing all the different aspects of metal work to produce a finished product. Number 19, and this one almost is a basic skill. I sort of do consider it that, but I wanted to put it in, and that's hunting and fishing. Hunting, fishing, and trapping. Having these abilities will ensure that if you're the lone survivor, you'll always be able to feed yourself. But if you're a member of a group, you'll be very popular if you're able to bag that deer, if you're able to catch enough fish to feed the group, or if you're able to trap enough animals, because it's not just the food that you get from this, but it's the hides that you get also that you can use. Number 20, leadership and coordination. A large group is going to need a very capable leader. And when I say large group, I'm really thinking about some groups of 10 or more. Once you get into that level of group, you got people with a lot of different skills, and you have to allow these people to use their skills for everyone's benefit. And that's where a good leader has to be able to make the distinction between just being in charge and giving orders, as opposed to giving sensible orders and using the resources to the best of everyone's ability. People have strengths and people have weaknesses, and a good leader will recognize that and he will use the strengths to the group's advantage, and at the same time the weaknesses won't have as much of effect because you have people that can take up the slack in those areas. Using your group efficiently, effectively, being a good leader, that's part of what it's all about. And also, as a good leader, you have to be able to coordinate efforts. We talked about a lot of skills here. If you have people in your group that have all the skills we mentioned, it's not good enough to say, hey, let's just get started, everybody. There has to be a plan. There has to be a goal to reach, and there has to be coordination in this effort. We can't start building a house until we get the lumber. We can't use the lumber to build the house until we have nails. We can't use nails unless we have a hammer. So there's a chain of events that occur in almost every one of these activities that a good leader is going to have to recognize, and a good leader is going to have to coordinate and plan for, and use everyone's resources and time as efficiently as possible. Well, these are just some skills that I thought would help out a lot. A lot of people already have these skills, but in long-term survival, it's going to take a lot of these to get a community up and running. It's going to be really hard to do with a very small group, especially when you talk about restoring power, filtering water on a commercial level and things like that. It's going to take a group, and it's going to take a lot of people. And having people with various skill sets is going to make your group that much stronger in the long run, and it's going to give you the best opportunity at succeeding and making it through whatever types of hardships we're facing. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks a lot for watching. God bless, and for now, Serious Survivor, out.